Hello, 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 everybody. We are live. It is time to get to training. Now, for everybody who is watching this live on the replay and you, excuse me, don't know who I am, my name is Tisha Spencer. I am a travel agency owner. I am a travel coach, mentor, trainer, and what I do is I not only help people travel around the world to travel and taste the culture and the cuisines of the world on a luxury level, I also train different travel agents around the country on various tactics. And some of the things I love to train on is travel joy. Now, I got started with travel joy just as I got started with this current host agency because my CRM was out of whack. I wasn't keeping up with my invoices and sending quotes out. I didn't like the whole copy and pasting that I had been doing years before. So I was introduced to Travel Joy while I was at a travel convention. And after doing my own research and training, I absolutely fell in love with it. I probably won't use anything else because they would have to beat what Travel Joy has. Now, as you're coming in, I want you to come into the comments and definitely let me know where you're checking in from. Let me know if you are a travel agent now, how long you've been in, if you have travel joy and things of that nature. And if you don't have travel joy, you can go ahead and get travel joy now. Look inside the link and you can go to this link and it'll give you the ability to get it for 50% off of the first 3 months, even though I spelled the first wrong, but it's okay. But yeah, so what we're going to jump into is we're going to focus on group bookings. And the reason why I'm focusing on that is because throughout my trainings, I've been slowly progressing to different levels within Travel Joy. You can look through my YouTube channel and you can actually see some of the different trainings that I have. But I want to focus on this because a lot of people are trying to get more into groups or trying to do multiple bookings. As always, a group is technically eight cruise cabins or 10 cabins, 10 rooms with a hotel resort. But sometimes you may only have 4 or 5, you may only have 6, you may have 7, you may have 50, but you got to organize all of the different clients that you have, the different reservations, each of the client's needs, and different things like that. And it can be challenging. And for some people, I've heard over and over again that when it comes to doing the group bookings on Travel Joy, they just don't know how to do it and it gets complicated. And I'm going to show you honestly how easy it is. And I'm going to show you different things that you can do in order to make it easier based off of what you're trying to do. Now, I will be doing this hands-on, so you will be seeing me actually building a group page. I'm going to keep it super simple, though. Building a group page. I'm going to go through the different types of the smart proposals, regular proposals, the group funds. And as we're going through this, if you are watching live, go ahead and drop your questions inside of the comments area, and I will try to answer them if they pertain to what we're training on. Anything else outside of that realm, I may not answer because I don't want to divert the training or lose anybody while we're doing this. If you're not a travel agent and you're watching this and you want to know more about how you can become a travel agent, go ahead and send me an email message. You can send me an email. If you know me on Facebook and you're watching this, you can go ahead and just DM me. But if this is probably you watching this on YouTube, you're going to go ahead and email me right here to this email address, and we'll start the conversation on how you can go ahead and become a travel agent with me. Now, we're just going to go ahead and get started. I'm working off of 2 screens right now. We're going to go ahead and bam, add the screen in. So for those of you that have Travel Joy, you know what this looks like. I'm already inside of the group. I have a group called Test Groups, which is basically where I put in here all my different tests that I have, right? So it's inside your dashboard. You can go ahead and hit the create button. You hit create group and you just fill in the information. But we're going to be doing my test groups, which is right here. And boom, we're going to get started. So we're going to go through everything, and I'm going to periodically look from the other side, and I'm going to see if there's any questions. And as you can see, I can highlight the questions. Some of the questions may come in a little bit delayed because there is a delay between StreamJoy and my other outlets. But yeah, let's go. First thing up is group messages. What I like about the groups is regardless if you're doing 3 reservations, 10 reservations, 20 reservations, inside of group messages, you have the ability to send an entire message to everybody in the group or you can select different people that you want to send it to. So what I'm gonna do is I have a fake person inside of here, right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and add myself to the group, so I can have some other people in it, just so you can see it, right? Um, Oops, we don't want to sit there. We want to go back to all travelers. So I can go in here and select this message we have here. Now, what I do suggest is when you start a group setup and everything, you do an introductory post. Basically, a post that introduces who you are, how you're going to be helping them, dropping some information about the trip. So if this is going to be a cruise in January, you're going to say, hey, you know what? My name is Angela, and I'm super excited to put this group cruise together for everybody here. I've been in the industry for X amount of years. I specialize with whatever cruise line it is, and we're looking forward for you to sail on these dates with this cruise line on this ship for whatever reason it is. Kind of an introductory. And what I like to do is I like to actually put in a form. Let's see if I have the trip research form, but because I've used this for several classes, so I have several things in here. So what I like to do is go in here and I do an email template. And what I choose is, let's see, do I have a template for it? Don't have a template. Okay, great. So if you don't have a template, what you can do is go to the create button. And inside of the create, we're going to create a group form. Now, this group form is basically a form that everybody is going to get, right? Now, you may create a form in the templates for this particular trip. You may have something that is generic, a default. It's up to you. I have a default one, which is basically a client profile update form, right? Now, the reason why I do that is because at this point, you should have already spoken to the POC. You should have already figured out where you're going to go and when you're going to go, right? You should already have that information set up. So when you're sending this form out to the rest of the group, you're not necessarily asking them, where do you want to go? When do you want to go? That's something that you and the POC are going to do individually, right? Now, after the client submits the form, guys, we're going to do nothing. We're not going to create an invoice. Not yet. We're going to circle back to that. We're not going to create an invoice. We're going to do nothing. So we're going to hit next. We're going to do save and review email. Now, for your update forms, a lot of the templates have generic emails already set up. I've gone in here and I've made some updates to mine. You can do that in the template forms. But you want to make sure that it says everything that you want it to say. Now, once you update it here, it should update every time you send it out for this particular group. It's going to say this, right? But what's cool about it is, so say you've already have 5 or 6 people inside of this group already, and you've already sent emails to 3 of them. You can either send individually, which will allow you to select how you have AC, free life, which is not real, free life. I can say, yes, I want to send it to that person, or I can skip and then just send it to myself, right? Or what you can do is you can save and review email. You can just send it to everybody. So this goes for any email that you send out to the group, any forms you send out, passport reminders, update reminders. Hey, how's everybody going? What's going on? Is everybody excited? You can send it to everybody, or you could just send it individually, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit next. We're going to save and publish. So now that it's published, there's a form, there's a link here. Now it takes you right to your group files. Again, this is my test group, my training group. So there's a whole lot of forms and files inside of here, right? So every form that inside of every file that you create for the group level, we're at master level. We're not at anybody's passenger level or anything like that, would be in here. So every form I've ever created is in here, right? So the next thing you have is group tasks. Now, group tasks are things that you set up individually for any task that you need them to do, or you need to do, not necessarily them, but you may need to do. So a task could be create booking page, quick add task, boom. So now that it's in there, once it's done, you check it off. Any notes you need to do, you can put a due date in here. So we're going to make a due date of Friday, right? I can set a relative due date based off of, say, one day, the start date of the trip, before the start date of the trip, because you can set this up to do any kind of task that you want to do. You can set a reminder, you can make it a manual action, or you can set a task that's going to require an email to go out or send a form. It's up to you, right? So we're just going to keep it really simple, right? You can also import a task list. Now I have a hype message one that I've created, or you can do the standard one. You can import the standard inside of here. So inside of the standard, this is everything that needs to be done. So this is a standard task list for any trip. So it kind of tells you what you need to do. So for those of you who are watching and don't know what you should be doing in the process of doing a group trip or any kind of trip, here's everything you need to do. Right? We're going to ignore the first one because I just created that. You're going to create a form to collect the travel preferences. You're going to do a direct invoice. You're going to propose, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? Group status. Inside of group status, this will basically tell you all the bookings you have, how many travelers you have, how many sales you have, and how much commission you have. Now, I'm going to tell you now, once you create the invoice, and we'll get into a little bit more, you make sure that you put the commission in so it can track your commission for all your trips. Now, this will create a list by traveler, by room, and by package, right? So as you create separate packages, separate rooms, travel, it does it all. And then guys, you can export this to Excel. So sometimes the supplier you may use may need a document to show who's staying in what room, especially if you're doing a group booking for a hotel and you're giving them a rooming list. This can break everything down for you. You may have multiple packages. So you may need to see who booked which packages, who's in whose room, or do it by traveler, right? So as you can see, this is in beta. I don't know what's beta, but something's coming because this has always been here. You can view the forms. So what you can do is with the forms, any forms that you have sent out or anything, you'll actually see it here next to the client's name. We can choose the form, trip research fees. As you can see, the status, the date submitted, all the client's information. It actually tell you what the form, all the information from the form. We can do a CSV, Excel print if you want to pull it out. You can view payments, all the payments that they may have made, if they've made any, if you have any. The rooming list, which I don't really have any, right? Then you have group notes. Group notes is anything you want to put in there about the group. This can be group level. Mind you, we're still at group level. We're not talking about individual trip level yet. This is still group level. So any notes that you want to put down that you may have talked to the POC or updates with the supplier that you want to drop in here, or just things that you need to remember. Some of the things I put in here is like my initial conversation with the client. I may put the notes in here just at group level just so I can remember, or when the client sends me the email addresses for all of the people attending, I'll leave it at group note level. So that way, when I'm ready to add them into the group, I can just come to group notes and then just add them one by one into the trip because you have to create a new profile for each person. This is what blows everybody's mind because everyone gets confused. This is when I hear a lot of people, I don't know how to work it. It's very simple. I have mine set up for group funds to be turned on automatically. And I'm going to go back to the page in a minute and show you where it is, right? You can pay a supplier or your markup. Now, with group funds, there is a fee that is passed on to the client. You can choose to absorb it if you want to. I don't, because I don't want to have to come out of pocket several $100s at the end of the month to pay for the fees when I feel that most clients go to the store, swipe their card, and they pay these fees without even realizing they're paying these fees, right? Now, of course, with some of the suppliers you have, they can pay directly with the supplier, like Virgin Voyages. They have that option. You can give them that option. But when it comes to groups, I find it so much easier just to let them go through this process, let the system collect the money. That way, I'm not rushing to go ahead and charge the card because I'm worried that the money is going to get spent. And I've had that happen too many times, which is why I started doing group funds. And plus, this allows for my business to still be moving seamlessly like a website without me necessarily having to physically be there. Now, as you have payments coming through, it will show you the payment, who it came from, any description that comes along with it, like invoice number 12345, the date it happened, and the total amount. It will also show you when the supplier goes ahead and charges the card. Now, the supplier does not automatically charge the card. Money does not automatically go to the supplier. You have to go and pay a supplier. Now, because there's no funds in here, I can't really go into it, and I'm not going to open up anybody else's file to show that information, just for privacy reasons. But it's going to ask you, do you want to pay by wire transfer, which I've never done. I've always done it where they give me a digital Visa card. You fill out all the information, and it gives you a temporary card. Now, here's a question I get a lot of times. What happens if the person cancels and a refund needs to be done? How do they get their money? Simple and easy. Once the refund has been processed, it's going to go back to that same card. Even though that card is only good for a short period of time, the system still knows that card and will recognize it, and a refund will go back to the card. And once it goes back to the card, you just request for Travel Joy to send the money to the client. Now, generally, once I get the refund, the client tends to get that refund within 24 to 48 hours. I've never had any refund take longer than that unless there was some questions about exactly how much they need to go. And that's a whole different thing with Travel Joy. You have to give them very specific information, right? So when you go back to group messages, and remember, if you are watching live, go ahead and drop your questions inside of the chat. So you're going to get on here, and the group booking page has been created because, again, I've done it before. You have group funds is on, and this is where you would turn it on. If it's not set to do it automatically, you'll turn it on. They'll have some pop-ups to ask you some questions about, are you sure you want to do this, X, Y, and Z, right? So that's the main level, right? So we're going to go to AC. AC is my tester. That's the one I play with. So AC is just a regular person. I already showed you how to add a person. You just add a trip. You put the information in. There's more trip details. You can fill all this in, right? So once you get here, this is basically what I call client level, right? Anything you do with the client is going to happen here. So even if the client goes ahead and fills out the group booking page from the travelers page, and they fill out all the information from there, because it's their name, it's going to automatically go into the system. So let me see. I have a group booking page that's published. So I'm going to show you this tester that I've done already, right? There's really nothing in it. So once this gets filled out and gets done, the client goes through it. We put the pricing in, the traveler's information. What happens is once they fill this out, they're automatically added to the client level of their group booking page. You don't have to add them. See, that's why this good. That's one of the great things about using a group booking page is, one, if you have a group or if you're trying to speculate and grow a group, you can use this to market this and it'll look like a true booking page, like a website, and people can go through there and get all the information. The system will collect whatever it is you tell them to collect, and it'll just show up and you'll start getting all these amazing emails. It's amazing, right? So we're going to go backwards a little bit. So we're going to go back to group files. I got the group-to-group messaging. So the first thing I want to show you is the group files, and we are going to go back to group booking page because I want to actually build it a little bit more so you kind of see what it looks like and how it can be done. And once we're done, I'll go into one of my files that's safe and show you a group booking page so you can see it completely done. But when you go to group booking page, you just click create. Now you have group booking page direct, supplier. Now the difference between direct and supplier is supplier means you have to process those payments. That means that the system is not going to automatically charge the card. So if Sarah G go ahead and authorizes $540 for the trip, her card is not going to be charged. You have to actually go take that credit card information and actually put it on the supplier. Now, when you're dealing with groups, sometimes what'll happen is you'll have the package and the flight as a package. Then you have your shuttle services might be a separate charge with another supplier, like if you're going to Dubai. Then you may have excursions with another excursion company. It may not be with the, like say an ALG supplier. So you might be booking multiple places. Now, I like to do direct because I can hold the funds at group fund level. And when I'm ready to use it, I can charge it. Now, I do charge my clients and make sure that their deposit for their flight and hotel is squared away. But if I also have to charge for excursions and I have to charge for flights, I may need a certain amount of money to do that, which means that I have to wait until I have that much money in their file to be able to actually and accurately pay for everything else that's coming along with the process. You know what I mean? So that's why I prefer to use direct. Now you can do a group invoice direct, which is basically so say for instance, you're going to be doing a hotel at Chic, right? The group only wants one particular room. They don't want choices and options. Everybody's going to be double occupancy in this balcony room. Then you could just create an invoice. When you create an invoice, see, here you go, a direct invoice. This means your client will be charged directly instead of authorizing the payment. Cool, yes, I want to do it. It's always going to ask you. So you would just build an invoice. This is only great if there's no extras that can be selected. Like everything is cut dry. Like for instance, I'm getting ready to do a reunion. Well, I'm probably going to have mostly balcony rooms with a couple of ADAs. I don't know, as of now, don't know if I'm going to have any suites. But if I know that they just want 35 balcony rooms, I really don't need to build an exhausting type of, hold on, an exhausting booking page when I know it's just one specific thing. Now you go in here and you just build the invoices the same way you do for your regular trips, and you set everything up, right? So we're going to go back. What I like about the group booking page is it also will build your invoices for you. So you don't have to worry about trying to figure everything out, right? So let's see, go back, show that. Group invoices. Now the group form I already showed you. You can choose whatever forms you want to use, right? Now, what I do, if I have not gotten all the information from the PLC, if we have not solidified on the hotel, the cruise line, we don't have everything solidified, then I still have to send out a proposal. Now, when you're doing that, you have to send it from the actual PLC page. You can't do it at group level. Why? Because look at the options here. The itinerary, the form, the invoice, the proposal, and the smart proposal. Now, the only difference between a proposal and a smart proposal, my opinion, smart proposal is prettier. That's about it. That's it for me, right? It's prettier. So I like to do smart proposals versus doing the regular proposal. The itinerary is something that will be done once a smart proposal or any proposal is actually approved. Then, of course, you can create individual invoices. Again, I don't do that if I know I'm going to be creating a group page. Now, here's the thing. The reason I want to show you smart proposals as well as group booking pages is I have a group that is going to Dubai. Now, we didn't know how many of the people were going to be going. So instead of doing an elaborate group booking page, I just created a smart proposal for the client, right? For the POC, for them to go ahead and review it and approve it and all of that other stuff that they want to do. And then once they went ahead and approved it, I just kept using the smart proposal. Why? Same flights, same hotels, same shuttles. Everything was the same. There wasn't anything for the clients and the rest of the group to actually choose anything. Everything was going to be the same, right? So for those of you who have used Travel Joy before, right? And I'm sure many of you on here have used Travel Joy and may have used Smart Proposal. Here's something that you can do, right? You're going to put your title in, test run, I love to cruise. Can't spell it, but I love it, right? So you can put whatever you want in here, upload any photos that you want for the banner here, and boom. Then you're going to click on the side, just anywhere on the side. You want to set up your settings. Do you want to accept payments? Yes or no. For a smart proposal, you do not have to accept payments. Why do I like to accept payments in a lot of cases? Because when they approve it, I can now get the deposit. But here's the kicker. You really can't accept the payments if you have multiple hotels, multiple cruise lines, multiple options, because the system is going to add up all of the costs and roll it up at one level. And it's going to say, so say you have 4 hotels and they're all 2,000. There's still no option for somebody to say, I want this particular one only, like picking it off the website and putting it in their cart. There's still no way to do that, right? But I'm gonna show you how to do this. You're gonna say yes. You're gonna come over here and you're gonna click edit. Why? Because you wanna make sure you do deposit and final payment. You're gonna put in a deposit. Well, technically you can't put a deposit until you actually like put something in the group in there. You want to make sure the final payment due date is correct. So we're just going to choose anything. You're going to choose your terms and conditions. You're going to charge the convenience fee. Now, I don't show itemized in prices. I don't. Now, a lot of times I will turn this on to accept payments, but I will tell the client that I will tell the client not to pay anything at this point. This is just to let you know what the cost is, right? Then you could choose a markup. Now you can add a markup. This is a system that allows you to mark up the price. Now we all know when we're doing our trips, there is commission involved inside of our suppliers. We already get paid through the suppliers. Now the reason why is some of the reasons why you might do markups. One, I have groups that want to add markups because they want to use they want to collect extra funds from the group to pay for t-shirts, gift bags, things like that. So they want me to collect it versus them having to chase people down, put it as part of the package. You may have a markup because you know that the excursion they want might go up. So you put a markup in it just to cover that. There's various reasons why you as an agent may choose to put your markup. I know some agents who put their research fee as part of a markup. It's your business to decide what you want to do. Just make sure you are compliant with the host agency that you are with and with the rules and regulations within your state, right? But you can choose to do a markup, and then the markup will actually show up as we start adding stuff, and I'm going to show you. And then I do an invoice confirmation, right? So now, if you are now doing this from scratch, you're going to add a section, put a section name, and I'm just going to choose whatever. The date is basically if there's going to be multiple steps, which falls into the itinerary. So you may be doing a proposal that says, yes, we're going to get on a cruise ship on day 1. And then on day 3, we're going to be in Cozumel. And in Cozumel, we're going to do this excursion. And then on day 4, we're going to be here. And then we're going to do this excursion. So you might put the dates there for that. I tend to leave the dates blank, right? So this is at the house. Then we're going to add an item. So they have different things that you can choose, right? So we're going to choose lodging. Now, I'm not going to go through all of them, just the key ones. Lodging. Inside of lodging, you're going to put the whole item name. I always put the name of the hotel there, even though the property name is still going to go right there. I still put it there. You could put the check-in date, check-in time. This is really good if you have people who are going to be doing multiple hotels or anything like that. The room type, I like to put the room type just so they know what type of room that they're getting up front. And then once you have finalized and you've made deposits, I come back and put the confirmation number in here. And I'm going to show you why later. Now, inside of here, guys, all I do is copy and paste from the supplier. That's literally all I do. I don't try to write nothing crazy. I don't need ChatGPT. I don't need AI thoughts or nothing like that. I go to the supplier's website. I copy the information about the hotel, and I copy a description of the hotel room, right? And then if there's a YouTube video, you can add a YouTube video inside of there, right? Some places will have the videos on the website for you to use very easily, because I literally go to the supplier and then I go to the hotel's public site to get information. Then you can also upload photos. You can add photos from a website. How many of you guys knew that you can do that? So you can go to Hilton Playa Carmen, go to the gallery, copy the link and paste it here. And if the photos are able to be uploaded, they'll be uploaded immediately, right? Let me see if I can find one real quick. That is not what I wanted, but this will work. We're gonna go to Hilton. Here we go. So I'm going to get the link. You can't see what I'm doing right now, but I'm going to get the link. I'm going to the website and I am trying to close out all these pop-ups. Gallery. So I'm copying the gallery's information, the link, if it'll work. So I just copy, paste it, put it right there and hit add photos. Let's see if it works. Now, not every website it'll work. And if it doesn't work, all you have to do is right click and click copy link, copy photo link, and then paste it there. You see how the photos are popping up? Now, of course, on the page I was on, it was way more photos there than what they're showing. But if you hit right click, copy image address, go back, paste it, and it should add the photo. Now, some places you're going to get a ton of photos, and some of you are going to have to do this long way of going back and forth. But adding photos definitely gives them more of an imagery, and it keeps them on the page versus them going to the website and trying to look for photos. Load them up with photos, right? If you need to add any kind of documents, you can add documents here. I've never had a reason to add a document. So I'm going to put a cost in. I'm going to say it's $4,500, right? That's how much the supplier costs. Now, the reason why I'm doing the markup on here is because we all know we have suppliers that give us net rates. Culture Holidays, for an example. So we may say the cost is $4,500, but we don't have a commission on it. So I'm going to go in here and I can choose my commission anywhere from 5% all the way to 30%, right? So we're going to keep it at 5%. Now, again, you have to make this fair and make this make sense for you, your business, and your company. Guys, don't try to overcharge your client just because you can and you're trying to make more money. Get a better value from your trip, because clients will, if they see something that they believe is way too expensive and they can see it less price, they will go get it less price unless they truly trust you, right? But you notice how the supplier cost is $45. but the total price is 4725 because it has that. And then you notice up here, it says the client price, and then it says your profit. Now, inside of here, at this level, there's no way to break out your commission. That happens on the invoice only, right? So you can go in here and then you can add another section, and then we're going to add an item. I'm going to show you what a cruise looks like. So you're going to put in, my favorite. I didn't, let's see. Virgin Voyages. So then you go in here and you put in all the information about the cruise, put all the information in here, the description, and it's the same setup. The supplier cost for this is $2,500. Making up numbers here, right? But you notice now how the total price is $7,475, right? That is because it is not going to allow you to break it up. It's going to do the total price for the entire smart proposal, which is why when I do this, I tend to, sometimes I will show the price. It just depends on the client and what we're doing. I'll show the price, but I let them know that the prices next to each option is just for this option. Now, one of the things I do have, and I'm gonna show you how I do this. Like if I've done this before, I'll go included. Wait. First, I'm gonna add a section. I'm gonna call it included. So included basically means everything included in every package, right? So everything that's included inside of my packages, flight, hotel, and stuff like that, that's where it is. Now, of course, I have inside of here, I'll have instructions, right? But for time's sake, I'm not going to break that down. So I'm going to go in here and we're going to travel protection. Now, I've done this once before. It's going to have all this stuff. Now, scroll to the bottom just because I know it's at the bottom, right? I want to add that to the proposal. So this is something that I created before. And guess what? It's all filled out for me. No copy, no paste, no nothing. It's already there. If I wanted to go ahead and go in there and pull up another past proposal, I could literally pull up. So some of you guys are doing the exact same trip over and over again, the exact same locations over and over again, the same cruise line over and over again. You can literally just pull that proposal over. You don't have to go ahead and have to recreate the wheel, right? So I have, what is the other one? I have shuttles. Everything I've done about shuttles, and shuttles, it's always going to be at the bottom. So luxury airport shuttle, add it to the proposal. Boom, it's already there. Don't have to do anything except adjust the price. If I can get it to open. I just got to adjust the price. That's it. That's all I have to do. So this is like super easy, super fast, right? So I'm going to show you what it looks like if you bring in, we're going to start with the Mexican girls trip. We're just going to wait. This is going to take a little longer because it's going to pull everything in. So it's going to take a minute, but it's easy. Do y'all see how easy this is and how uncomplicated it can be? And once you start building and doing different sections, it's going to make it easier for to pull stuff in. A lot of you have specialties and niches that you are doing, and maybe you're promoting the same hotel. So for instance, all of these things are different things that I've created, right? But as we go down, these are the past proposal items. Shuttle. Oh, there it goes. So this is a complete Mexican girls trip that I did, right? The pricing, what's included, the hotels. These are the hotel options I gave them. I think at this point, we only rolled down to these two at the end. This is everything it looks like. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Let's look sleek, y'all. Tell me this don't look sleek. Has your information, your photo, your signature, total price. It'll have your deposit, what you put it in. Generally, the deposit is going to be the same regardless of the package. But what I'll do is, just to be safe, whatever the highest deposit is, that's what I use to start with. So that way it's not, well, some is $250 per person, some is $300. If the highest deposit is $5, it's $5. That's the deposit, because it just makes it easier on my end and their end. And if they do choose where the deposit is lower, I'll let them know at that point. But I'm not trying to break it down, because people get too, if you give people too many options, you're never going to get anything done, right? Think about when you go to a buffet and you see so many options, you get overwhelmed. So this is what it looks like. Now this one is older, so the flights look a little bit different with the new setup, the way where you put the flights in. This does look a little bit, looks different now. And they actually track your flights for you now. This was the hotel options. Now, if you send this to your clients, they're gonna like, man, this person is a professional. This is nice. This is clean. All the information. This is one of my early did with smart proposals. So my descriptions is not as in depth. Look at all them photos, so they can see themselves there. They can click on it. They can look at all the photos. Like, man, I want to go there, right? This one had a lot of photos. So you can see I took it from the website. I actually stayed at this hotel. I like this hotel because this pool, there's sand around it. So it's a good compromise for people who want to be in the beach. But with people who like the pool, we could be in the pool, but still have that sand. Right? So this is all the hotels and everything. This is what the invoice looks like. And this is what your client sees, right? So it tells them the package price, the convenience fees. Now the convenience fee is based off of the total package price on the smart proposal, not individually for whichever trip they choose. Now this is the amount of the total amount of convenience fees that will be charged once they finish making their payments. Now, as they go through the process, it'll be broken down based on the actual charges that they do, right? So they put all this information in, they put their card number in, bada boom, bada bing, that's it, you're done, right? Something else I want to show you here. So there's something here that allows you to do, I'm not sure if it's here, they allow you to set up for monthly payment plan. So does anyone have any questions right now? Because we've been going for about 40 minutes. Any questions? You can just type it into the chat. But it's very simple. It's very easy. It's really, I mean, this does take a minute. Don't get me wrong. I've been doing this for a while, so I can knock these out a lot faster. But once you get in the habit, you can actually knock these out a lot faster than you think. Let's see. I'm checking Facebook real quick to see if there's anything there. And nope, nothing that I see there. But yeah, so it's real simple, real easy. And then when you're ready to share it, you just hit share. You can send it as an email, save it as a PDF, or you can copy a link if you don't want to send it through TravelJoy, if you want to copy a link somewhere or something like that. But that's essentially all you have to do. That's basically it. So like when you come in here, you can choose the markup. So you can do markup on some and markup on others. You can choose to itemize. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. You can show the client itemized. So we're going to do that one. So when you itemize it, it does have, well, see, inside of here, I used to write the price in here, but then when they updated a little bit more, I was able to see the itemized costs. You can see the cost a little bit better. Because when they do the, wait, I know where I have to go. I got to go to invoice. See how down here has the invoice? Now it shows the itemized costs. So for instance, if you have the hotel on there with a charge, the excursion with a charge, the separate shuttle with a charge, you can itemize it that way. But I do that. It just depends on the trip. It just depends on the trip. Honestly, it just depends on the trip. So that's basically doing the proposal, right? So we're going to send it. This is the email. You get to edit it. Now I do, again, for those you just jumping in, I do the smart proposal for the POC only. That is it. I do not create a smart proposal for every single person at this stage, because we are just trying to figure out where do you want to stay, what excursions you want, and what's the price going to be for me, and how we're going to set this up. So that's all we're doing here, right? So I'm going to send it. And then once it's all said and done, it goes back to his page. And it lets him know that I have set it up and everything. Now, once you've agreed on the proposal that you want, you're going to create an itinerary, right? You're going to click this button and it's going to show this. Now you can create an itinerary, but here's the trick. We're going to go back. If they go ahead and approve the proposal, the smart proposal, it would automatically go into an itinerary. So this is the trip right here, the P, that's the proposal. I can now turn this into the itinerary. There we go. So I just changed it to the itinerary. I go back to messages. Now he has an itinerary that I can edit, send, download, or get a link. And all the itinerary is, it's just the trip. It's now an itinerary. I mean, there's nothing really different about it. There's nothing really different about it. You can just add more sections inside of here. So if you want to add another section, if you want to add another item, take stuff out, but it just gives them something to print out, and it'll have all their information and stuff on there. And like I keep adding sections. If you want to add like a flight to it, you put the flight number in it. So what I like about the flight number is, let me see if I can remember my EK231. Oh, EK. Emirates 231. Let me see if I can remember this departure date. Maybe ain't too far. I think they're leaving on the 21st. Leaving out of ID. I think that's right. All right. So I got the date wrong. But essentially, if you know the dates, I don't remember the dates of these people's flight. I know they come. I don't remember the date, but it's going to search to tell you if the flight is there. And if the flight is there, it'll fill it out right here. And if there's any changes, it actually will update it for you. So if there's changes, it'll update here for you, right? So that is the smart proposal, right? So let's just say we'll go back to AC. And let's just say that he has approved this proposal, right? So itinerary right here. So we're going to go ahead and set it as a smart proposal. Again, we're going to convert it back. But now I want to go ahead and duplicate this because, guys, we're going to the same hotel. I don't have any flights on here. They're going to have the same excursions. Everything's exactly the same. Don't need to build a whole group page if everything is exactly the same. And I think building a group page is what drives people crazy because they're trying to find something to be all creative and all that kind of stuff. Just duplicate the smart proposal. It's going to go into test group 1, right? The new proposal name is Tisha Proposal, right? Go ahead and continue. So now this is my proposal, right? All the same information. I can add stuff. I can delete stuff if I don't want it in there, whatever I want to do, right? I go ahead and make sure the settings is the same, And of course, when you do it like this, I always go back and check the price because a lot of times I do contracts because I don't have enough people who are concrete going. We all know the whole I'm going to go until it's time to pay and nobody wants to go. So I go and double check the pricing and put it in here. And then I share the proposal and I send it. Now this is going to AC, right? We don't want it to go to AC. So we're going to go back to test group 1. I'm going to go back to files. There's a way to duplicate this properly. And I keep getting this mixed up. I want to duplicate this. Oh, I know why. I put it in the wrong group. See, told you this is live. I'm going to put my name in here. I'm going to spell my name right. So I'm going to put it here, which I hope this is the right one. And then I'm going to put my name. So what you want to do is you want to select the client's name. So in order to duplicate it into their client folder, they need to already be added to the folder. So this is when your POC gives you a list of names with the emails. This is how you would put them in there one by one, and then you would go ahead and put it in there. Now, if you're going to use a group booking page, you don't have to worry about this aspect, right? So it's going to rotate. We're going to say, cool. We're just going to hit send. And now it's sending to me, right? We're going to hit cancel because I really don't want to send the email to myself. And then this is an older trip. So I didn't put it in the right one, but it's fine. I have all types of test trips. So now it's in here. Tisha's proposal, July 30th. Now it's in here, right? So I need to go back to my dashboard because I put it in the wrong trip. Let's see. Test group. Right? So that is doing the smart proposal and setting it up with all the information and keeping it simple, right? So now we're going to go to the group files so let's just say you have everything done, but they have multiple options, multiple room options, whatever, right? So we're going to go to the group booking page. Now you want to give your group booking page a name. Now I'm just grabbing whatever shows up because sometimes you may have Pied Pipers where you may give them a group booking page to go get sales, and maybe you're offering some incentives to help them grow your speculative group, right? Whatever reason. So when you come in here, it's really not that hard. I'm gonna tell you the main thing you want to do is if this is a speculative group or even if this is a group ran by one of your clients, you want to introduce, you want to welcome them. So that's what you're gonna put here. You're gonna welcome them, introduce them to the group, tell them they're so excited. And this is not when you introduce yourself. This is when you talk about the trip. And I'm gonna show you what some of my group booking pages look like. You put your information in. You can put in videos, images, right? You can put in videos, embedded videos, advanced, general. Generally, I like to do YouTube channels, videos to put in here. You can link different things. Like say, for instance, if you're talking about excursions further down, you can have a link in here that takes them directly to the excursion page for them to see more or whatever. You can drop photos. You can change all of this up, right? What's included in the trip? These are the highlights. You want to list what's included. Do not assume that they know. So you want to put hotel accommodations, all taxes and fees, all inclusive, amenities, yada, yada, yada. You want to put all of that in there so they know, but it's also so they can see the value of the trip. Because you don't want to just put air, hotel, flight, and shuttle. No, good. There we go. We're back. So you want to go ahead and make sure that you put everything inside of there. Again, this is an opportunity if you want to use Chat GPT. You can use Chat GPT, the AI services, to write your event page for you. You just got to write out what you're trying to say, and it will go ahead and write something for you that you can copy and paste and put in here. Now, information about the hotel, the cruise lines, and things like that, guys, I take it from the suppliers. This takes more work. This does take more time. It's not as fast as the smart proposal, but you want to put everything that's included, right? Then you also want to put what's not included. So if you're not offering airfare, airfare is not included. They can be added. Why I don't include airfare in bigger groups is because if they're not coming from the same destination, flight prices are going to change. If I don't have a contract, flight prices are going to change. Some people just don't want you to book their air. Plain and simple. The reason why for my Dubai trip, the reason why I had the airfares because they were all coming from the same place, all on the same flight, and they all booked around the same time. That's why I put the air in there. But generally, I don't include air. Air is something that can be added based off of the person's preferences. I've had clients who don't book air with me. Just remind your clients if they're not going to book air with you, they need to give you their air information because you kind of need to tell the supplier so the shuttle services can pick them up. Anything else that may not be included, tips, gratuities, whatever else based off your trip that's not included, make sure they're fully aware of what's not included, right? Itinerary, guys, I don't write an itinerary. I really don't. It takes way too much time to do an itinerary. I write different things in there. I may put in there the hotel rooms with the different categories of the rooms, right? So this is a junior suite room, and I'll have a photo there. I have a junior suite room, and I'll put the photo there. I'll have the presidential suite. I may have definitions of what privilege means or what VIP level means, or for cruises, I have the different balconies and the photos, maybe videos about the cruise or the hotel. I put information in to get people hyped up, right? Now down here at the bottom, I know I shrunk the screen. Let me go back. Down here at the bottom where it says cancellation policy, guys, crucial you have a cancellation policy set up. You can create a very basic one and save it on a Word document and put it in here because they need to know if I cancel this trip with you, what's going to happen? Are refunds refundable? How long? What is the cancellation policy? Some of this you may pull from the supplier and you can just drop and paste on that. I also put in I have a COVID disclaimer. I still put in a COVID disclaimer. You know why? Because not too many countries, but some countries still have restrictions on the COVID. Not a lot, but I still put the COVID restrictions in there. And guys, I know this sounds silly. I put how to book because some people don't understand how to fill out these forms. And they're like, well, what if I got 4 people? What if I got 3 people? What if I have this many people? How do I book if I want to book myself, but my roommate's not ready to book? How do I do that? Explain how that all works. Everybody's going to work differently. For me personally, if I'm booking 2 in a room, I prefer for everyone to book at the same time. But I have on my form that it says that who's going to be your roommate. So that way I can combine them inside of the group client form. I can combine them into one package in the system, right? And you can put anything else that you want down here, but these are like your terms and conditions and all that kind of stuff, right? Then you want to do pricing. The traveler limits. This is basically how many people are allowed per package. So you can have a minimum of 10 travelers per package. I mean, maximum or maximum of 2, right? I generally do 2. I don't like, because when you do hotels, there's not a lot of space for 3 and above. And it gets complicated because, guys, if you say that they can have up to 4 people in a room, you have to run the pricing for solo, for double, for triple, for quad. You have to do it for every single room. It's time consuming. It's worth it, but it's time consuming, right? All the travelers share the same day. I love when they gave this. So this is great for, so say that your trip is going to be, options are from Thursday through Friday. I mean, Thursday through Monday. But you have some travelers are only going to come in between Friday and Monday, or maybe some are going to come Thursday through Sunday, right? If you're going to say they share the same dates, this means that they're all coming in Thursday, they're all leaving Monday, no in-betweens. Then they have some that's 2 days. So maybe they're coming in Thursday and they're leaving Sunday, and some are coming in Thursday, leaving Monday, or Friday and Sunday. This is great if you're doing like weddings and stuff like that, because you're going to have a certain set of people who are going to have to come in early for the event. And then you're going to want to stay late after the event, right? And then they try specific dates, right? Now packages are priced per night because I chose that these are the available dates. I can add another date range. We're going to change up that date range just so it looks different, right? We're going to say the 31st through the 5th, right? 5 nights. Or maybe I want to say the 30th through the 3rd, 4 nights. So they get to choose how they want to go ahead and book the trip. Now, again, this will get tricky because if you are going to sit there and say that there's, most places are going to be double occupancy, it's not that bad. But if you sit there and say that there's 3 people in the room, that means that you have to quote for a 7-night package, a 5-night package, a 4-night package. Each night may be slightly different because, as we know, hotels, mostly when you're doing international, Caribbean, Jamaica, the hotel prices may be the same. But if you're doing something local, stateside, price ranges could change. You all seen it when Friday it's $100 and then Saturday and Sunday it's $150. So this becomes very complicated, but you would have to go ahead and run the prices for 7 nights, run it for 5 nights, run it for 4 nights, and then you got to divide that price per night, right? So let me show you what this looks like. So you're going to go in here. This is when you put in the description of the package, what's included, quantity limited, what is the availability date. This basically means that after this date, you cannot book on the site at all. That's it. So if I said that the booking date, as you can see now, is like the 4th, after August 4th, this package is no longer available. So now what we have here is the price per person per night or per person all nights. So you can sit here and say, each person in this room for 4 nights is this, for 5 nights is this, for 7 nights is this, add another occupancy rate, add another occupancy rate, you'd have to get the pricing for each of these. You'd have to run it and get it. It's up to you what you want to do. I like doing all nights versus doing per night because there's less math and there's less error. And you can set this up really easy. Again, this takes time to do this. The deposit needs to be high enough to cover the trip. So a single person's deposit is going to be much higher than a double, triple, or quad per person. So you have to go with the highest deposit for a single person because you want to make sure you have enough money to actually deposit the trip. So if you tell a double person that two people is 250, but a single person is 5, well, a single is going to do 250 and think that they're done. And then you want to add the final due date, right? So the question is, can you add pre and post nights as an optional item in lieu of packaging? What do you mean by pre and post nights? Because if this is a hotel, there is no pre and post night. If you're talking about a cruise, yes, you can do that, right? But here, you're going to go in here and you're going to put in a commission. You're going to search for the supplier. The booking date you can leave blank, and then your commission split, right? So you're going to put choose what your commission split's going to be. And then the date of the expected commission, I'm just going to choose whatever, how much you're expected to get. Let's say it's great, it's 500. It's going to automatically break it down for you. And then when you do your reconciliation, you'll come back in here and say on the date it was collected and how much you got, right? So now, wait, did I not do something? Because it won't save. Oh, because I didn't put any numbers. So we're going to delete these out just because I don't want to have all of those. I'm just going to make up some numbers. Just have it in there. Yeah, you can do that. You can do it. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to choose, I have to choose a later date. So what she's basically asking is if somebody wants to do, like we're using Bali, for example, say the Bali dates start on the 30th, right? But they want to come in an extra day. So in this case, that means that they're all going to be sharing the exact same dates, right? What you do is you just add a package and you can say pre-stay. Put all the information in, all the information that needs to go in there. And that's it, right? Payment, I got to choose an availability date. Okay, nope, that's still wrong because I chose it after. So yeah, you can definitely do that. You can sit up there and say that they want to come in, if they want to come in early, earlier than the actual tour date, you can do that. But here's the thing though, if you're doing Bali, more than likely, that is going to be a set package with set time frames. What I did was with my Bali is I would take this one, I would duplicate it. I said double occupancy with 2-day pre-stay. And then I would put more information here. And then I would take whatever the cost is for the trip and add it on to this. So if the trip is say 1,000 with a 2-night stay, earlier stay in the country, that's going to include an extra $250 per day. That means the trip's now $1,500. So this would be their package, right? That's what I would do. So you can create the same package and duplicate it and make different changes. You can do this for add a package. You can do this for cruises. I mean, you have that capability to do that. You can do extra items. You can also choose to add it as an extra item. Where if somebody this is great for cruises, a pre and post stay with a cruise tour. You know, if they want to come early, you can add that here. You can add travel protection as something. You can add excursions down here. You can add, when it comes down to cruises, you can add in onboard credit, the ability to add extra onboard credit. Virgin Voyages, add the bar tab. You can do all of that. Just make sure you put your commission in, right? So you can add extra options. When it cancel, extra options inside of here. Now, when you come down here, this is set up as direct. I do credit card only. I do not do bank transfers. I'm not doing that. I charge the client pays the convenience fee. I do not allow custom payments in the beginning. Why? Because a custom payment means that this person can change the payment at any time. Well, I don't want them to do that for my deposit. I need my deposit. So you can't do that. But afterwards, once your invoice has been set up, I'll allow them to do custom payments because once this gets set up and they choose what they want to do, the system is going to automatically create an invoice based off of the final payment due date and whenever they make the deposit. So today's July 30th. If they're going to have the final due date is October 9th, well, they're going to break it up from the 30th until October 9th every month, equal payments, right? But I don't allow custom payments until I get the first payment. What I do like is the monthly schedule where the monthly payment plan was created. You accept the booking fee, but But I like the option of this, where the client has the option to do auto pay. I have one of my clients doing that now for their cruise, where every month their card is automatically charged, no ifs, ands, or buts. They charge the card. If the money's there, we get the money. I love that option because if the client forgets, it's cool. I still get the money and everything goes in. Now, the client could turn it off. They have to opt it. I got offer it. They got to opt into it. It's not automatic. The client turns it off. Cool. You can turn it off if you need to say the card. Like I had a client where the card got changed. So I turned it off and I just said, when you pay your next payment, turn it back on. Boom. Now here's something else. Many of you probably don't know. You can do discount codes where you can add a discount code and you create the code. Now understand, if you do a discount code and you give them a discount off their trip, you're still responsible for that final payment. So if the trip's $1,500 and you're giving them, say, 20% off of that or 150 off, you're still responsible for that 150 in the end. This is a time that you may want to do the upcharge part to make it look like you're giving them a deal, but it's up to you. Now, this also could be something that be worked out with your host. A lot of that gets worked out with the host with the discount code. So you can put the discount code in, and when they put it inside of the booking, that's what happens. Now, travel info. You got to choose what kind of form that you want them to fill out, the second person. And after every additional person that they say is going to be in this booking, there is going to be a form for every single person, right? I'm going to show you. We're going to preview. And then, guys, I'm going to show you a real one. I know this is a long training, but thank you for holding on. So it's slowly loading. Internet's running a little slow. Something went wrong. What didn't I set pricing for? So let's check. So if you do something wrong, yeah, this one for some reason it's not allowing me to add. Let me delete that one. It's not allowing me to add the pricing per person, which is weird. I'm gonna go back to double, share the same date. Okay, so weird. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna delete it. We're gonna start from scratch. Don't say test. And then the price is per person. So we got double occupancy. So we're gonna say this is 1,500. This is 1,200. And then the deposit is $250. It's available until the 9th, and final payment is the 30th. Okay, now we should be able to preview. Now, while you're doing this, until you hit publish, nobody can see this. Nobody can see this at all. So this is what it looks like. We didn't do a lot to it, but it has the packages. It has the number of travelers. So if I want to say 2 travelers, this is what I'm going to do. But then it shows you the form that I have everybody to fill out. This is a test form, so it's not the exact form that I would use, but it's a good example. They fill out all the information, how you would like to pay. This one still allows bank transfer, which I could turn off. But here it tells you the deposit, and then it shows you right here what the monthly payment is going to be every single month. So they can choose to pay a deposit, or they can pay the full amount. It's up to them. All the terms and conditions. And that's essentially what it looks like, right? I'm going to go back into edit mode because I'm not going to post. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to take you home, and I'm going to show you what this looks like live. So who can I do? Yeah, let's do this one. I'm going to view the group. I'm going to go to group files, and we're going to go look at the booking form. So this is a trip that I'm actually doing. This is what it looks like. All the information. Took this straight from the website. Copy and paste. And guys, it doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to look like a graphic designer did it. All of this I took from the website. I have the information about the rooms, so they can get some kind of visual of what the rooms look like, some information about the Rockstar suites and the Rockstar quarters, what makes them special. But I only did the ones that I'm actually going to be marketing. So you don't have for a cruise or even a hotel, you don't have to list every single accommodation. Just list the ones you're going to be marketing. And that's something that you'll talk to with your POC to say, okay, which cabins do you want me to put on hold? Which hotel types of hotel rooms do you want me to market? What's included? All inclusive taxes and fees, the cocktail party, everything that is included and what's not included. I let them know spa services is not included because some people think it is. It's not. The booking process, the discount deposit program that I had set up for this, travel insurance, all of that, right? Pricing. Mine's is set up for maximum travel of us too, because for cruises, we all know double is best. So you go in here, it lets you know, again, all of this is copy and paste, right? So technically, this is everything that's in there. Did not put my commission in, which is bad, but this is the booking page. But still, you still should put your booking. You still should fill out this information, right? Now, understand once you do the bookings, when it comes to cruises and even the hotels, this price might change. Just because if you don't have a contract and it's not locked in, this price could change. So I always let them know that this is the price at the time of the creation. I will review the prices once you send me your deposit and try to get the prices around the same, right? Because again, with cruises and in hotels, there could be a promotion that's going on that give them a better price, right? So I have all the information in here, all the extras, like the voyage protection, what it includes, if they want to add flights. Now, I don't have prices, but by them saying that they want to add the flight, this lets me know to keep an eye on flights for them. If they want to get a cabana, which this is now a different price, this has gone up. I know because I just got off the cruise. That is actually 500 now. Payment details, and I have no discount code, right? So I'm gonna hit publish because this is an actual live trip. So I want to make sure it's up to date. So now we're going to view the booking page from the client side. This is what it looks like. Very simple. You know, you don't have to be like some people want to do all these graphics and moving items and make it look like the way it doesn't. Keep it simple because remember, this is also going to be on people's phones, right? All the same information. So if they come in here and they want to book like the Central Sea Terrace, they're going to hit book now. It's going to show them this is the one that they selected. How many travelers? 2 people. So it's letting them know that for 2 people, this is the total cost, right? Because I chose the Central Sea Terrace. Then they continue to the traveler info and they fill out all the information, which I'm not going to fill out. And then they do the same thing for the additional traveler, all the information, and continue the payment. So at this point, it's going to let them know that the deposit due is $733 based off what you put into the system. And once they say yes and they do all of this, guess what? You have the money, you have the deposit, now you're ready to go. So we're going to back out of that. I'll scroll to the top. I need to back out one more time so I can get back to the group page. I'm going to go to the dashboard, and then I'm going to go back to my test group. So guys, that's essentially it. That's essentially it. You have 2 different ways that you can go ahead and do this, right? You can do a group booking page, which does take more time, takes more work. You have to build it. This is great if you have multiple options. You want them to do an a la carte in a sense, where it might be the same hotel, but you have a junior suite swim up, privilege suite, presidential suite. So they get to choose different cabins. If there's extra excursions you want to put on there, you want to let them choose which excursions that they want. If you want to ask them if they want to add flights, you can ask them if they want to add flights, so you know that they're going to need flights. Now, once this is all said and done, an invoice will be created, and then you're going to get an email that the trip is growing, that a deposit was made. You're going to go inside of there. You're going to go look at the invoice and make sure the invoice is correct. You're going to make sure that the pricing is correct. If there's a price change, obviously you need to let them know that the price went up. And then you're going to make sure everything on that invoice is correct. And guys, that's it. So you literally could be at your 9 to 5 and have trips just going in. Now, at this point, is there any questions? Any questions about anything that we went over? Anything that you want me to go over? We got about maybe 10 more minutes before I will let you guys go. But yeah, this is very simple. It's very easy. And it's very it just makes sense. And if you don't have Travel Joy, this is how you can get it. It's also in the chat. If you're on YouTube, it's in the chat, so you should be able to click the link as well, and it's in the description. Let's see, any questions? Seeing no questions, I'm going to thank you guys for being here and being a part of this training. I have several other different trainings inside of my YouTube channel. Please go through, take a look, share them with other people. If you are seeing a training on, especially on Travel Joy, that you want me to do, or anything else that is travel related, let me know. You can put it in the comments here. If you're friends with me on Facebook, you can send me a message there. If you're in my training group, um, you can put it inside of there as well. But just let me know what it is that you guys are looking for when it comes to, the training where you're going into business. But yeah, the group seems to be the things that people are really more focused on. So I wanted to show you how to actually set it up. And Facebook, sorry. Travel Joy is always changing. There's always new things coming up. This is the group that I have. That is my Platinum Elite training group that I have on social media. I'm going to stop the screen. I'll move this over here so it faces me. But yeah, that's basically it. And love about Travel Joy is the fact that it does track your commissions if you accurately put it in. So make sure you always put your commissions in for every single line item. If you're doing a package, you don't have to do for every line item, but every single line item that actually that maybe from a different supplier, you want to go ahead and track it. But yeah, that's basically it. I see no questions. Thank you guys for being here on your Sunday evening. I know for some of you guys it's late, and for some of you guys it's early. I look forward to helping you more. Talk to you guys later.